associated regulations. Let's discuss this further. We're joined by National Liquor Traders Convener Ntimane. Thank you so much, Mr. Ntimane, for coming into studio to talk to us. Now, last time we spoke, you said you were going to be filing an interdict to stop this new law from being implemented on the 1st. You have filed papers today, so what is the latest?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. So we have indeed filed papers with the Limpopo Provincial High Court in Polokwane today. And we are raising the very same issues that we're raising when we engage with the provincial government there, specifically the MEC for Economic Development as well as Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Mr. Rogers Monama. And what we're asking for basically is a relief on an urgent basis. But we also understood that, we needed to give government time and space to be able to respond to our papers. We have given them till Monday, 5 o'clock, to indicate whether they oppose our review application. And if they do choose to oppose, then we will see them in court on the 8th of August, 10 o'clock. But the important thing that we need to highlight is that, we feel that, we were let down by the government of Limpopo. They were not negotiating in good faith. We will have a conversation in a closed door, and other information will then flow out, and that is contrary to what was discussed. So we feel that, the people of Limpopo have really been let down by the leadership of that province. And we're hoping that, with this matter now in the courts, we will be able to ventilate and really put facts on the table as to the real reasons why that province thought it was a very wise move to actually implement or even come with a proposal of this nature, which actually its only intended purpose is to destroy black-owned businesses in that province. Hence, we are opposing this vehemently, and hence we have launched now this urgent high court application in Polokwane.
Why do you think that people are out, or the government in Limpopo is out to destroy black businesses? Surely that's a bit of a far-fetched claim. It might be the unintended consequence, but do you really think that's their only motive for this bill?
We think so. If we look at the history of that province and the MEC making public pronouncements, we remember during COVID, and we're not going to forget, when one MEC actually made a comment that only people with vaccine need to go into taverns. Only taverns. Taverns were targeted. So in this instance, if we look at the bill and we look at the act and regulations, the only target is taverns and no one else. And we feel that, we are being unfairly targeted. But also, even in the conversations that we had, with the leadership there, you could sense that there wasn't any camaraderie. They were not willing.
It would be very difficult to present your case legally.
I think the opposite is true. The government of Limpopo, it's the burden of proof rests with them as to why do they feel that, cutting 2 hours is going to reduce crime. I mean, we have asked for the papers or the science behind that to be shown to us so that we can maybe be on the same page with them, and they couldn't show that. So we feel that the burden of proof lies squarely with them. They have to show why they feel that this is going to work for them. I mean, for us, we have, I think COVID-19 is real life experience for us, and we've got evidence and data that goes to show that 20.5 billion rand worth of alcohol in a country is now sold as illicit or counterfeit alcohol. That accounts to about 10% of the legal market. So what's going to happen in Limpopo is that the illicit and the counterfeit guys are going to celebrate. They are going to be the ones that take advantage of that 2 hours, and they're not just going to sell for 2 hours because in any event they're breaking the law. They'll sell 24 hours, and these guys have now built and created proper route to market channels. They even have customers that they supply. So if we are going to give them an extra 2 hours, you are now creating more market for them.
Have you engaged with liquor traders, taverns, shebeens, legal shebeens in the Limpopo province to gauge their reaction?
So this application was actually made by our constituency, the Sekhukhune Liquor Traders Association, and supported by Bapalabora Liquor Traders Association. So we are working with association and actual liquor traders on the ground who took matters into their hands to actually file this motion that we saw today with the Limpopo Provincial High Court. So indeed, liquor traders, because they are aggrieved, but it's not just them, it's also the value chain. If you look at the artists, they are going to be affected because it means 2 hours less of performing. But also you look at the waiters and waitresses in bars and restaurants, it means they now lose that extra 2 hours as an income. And most of these people in that space and on a per hour basis. So it means on a daily basis now they lose 2 hours. No one is going to be able to survive and succeed and put food on the table if you look at 14 hours having to be taken away from you on a weekly basis. So hence we call on the Limpopo government to actually do an impact assessment study of this act, which they didn't do, and it's a requirement that they do this before they can implement any act. So a whole lot of things were not done. There were not any proper consultations, and our papers will show that, in fact, this is an unconstitutional law that we're being subjected to as people of Limpopo, and we're going to fight it till the Constitutional Court if needs be.
So you've said that you hope and you expect the MEC to act in good faith by postponing the implementation of the Act until this matter has been heard by the court. But, you know, in this interview, you've said there is no good faith between yourselves and the department. Do you expect them to comply, or are you merely sort of stating that to try and, you know, prompt them into listening? I
think this is an instance where we really have to believe in miracles, that something great, miraculous will happen in that province. And if it happens, it will be for the relief of liquor traders. So we're hoping that, you know, some sense will prevail and that this act will be suspended pending the finalization of this case.
Do you foresee any protest if they do not suspend the implementation of the Act until at least the 8th when this is heard, or until after they've submitted answering papers?
It is difficult to predict how people react when their stomachs are being affected, when their pockets are being affected. So we don't know. But our plea to liquor traders is that let us remain within the conscripts of the law. Let's not take to the street. Let's not fight. Let us, because we have now started a court process, let us place our faith in that court process to get the relief that we want. So we do not expect liquor traders that they will take to the streets. In fact, even if you look at lockdown, when we're subjected to harsh regulations, we never took to the streets. So we have no expectation that in Limpopo, liquor traders, they will take to the streets as well.
Thank you so much for answering some of those questions, and we'll look forward to an update on this story in the coming week as that story develops. Thank you very much. That was National Liquor Traders Convener Ntimane.